Hello folks, this is Sheila E. from Tennessee, and I just wanted to, I had one of the girls at work to ask me, and she's a young girl, what somebody gave her a bag of frozen green beans that they had fixed in the summer, and how do you go about fixing those? So I just wanted to show you, it's not nothing. Now the way I do mine is I break mine up and I put them in a bag, in a freezer Ziploc bag, and I don't wash them. So when I get them out, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a strainer and a bowl, and I'm going to wash them. I'm going to put them here just a little bit closer so you can see. And these will taste just like you got them out of the garden. Excuse me. Got a little bit of drainage there. I'm going to fix 2 bags because I want some extra through the week till I can get back on my diet. So green beans is one thing you can have, and there's not a lot of calories in it. So what I do is I just put them in a strainer and I put a big bowl under them, and I want to get them washed really, really well. These were really clean green beans when I put them away, but still yet you want to wash them. So I wash them real good. Now this is mine. I don't know if somebody gives you some, you might want to wash them about 3 times because you don't know if they've had insecticide sprayed on them or what. And we didn't put any on ours this year. These were just really beautiful, beautiful green beans. So I'm going to empty this water and I'm going to put these in here, and then I'm going to wash them again. So I've got them in my big bowl. I'm just going to wash them really, really good. And this is in like lukewarm water. And then I'm going to put them back in my strainer bowl. And then I'm going to leave them in that strainer, and I'm just going to let them sit there under some good cold water. And then I've got my kibble ready. I like leftover green beans through the week because I can go to that and get me a bite of green beans, a little bowl, and not feel guilty. And I love green beans. I love green beans, fresh, especially fresh cooked green beans. Well, I think that's enough. That's about 3 times washing. Set my kettle down here, and I'm going to put that first bag in there, and then I'm going to put this second bag over here in this bowl to wash. And that's a lot of green beans, but they'll cook down some. And then I'm going to be doing several things today, so I'll probably just piece together some of the videos that I'm doing. I'm going to do, the last time I noticed that when I put a meatloaf on, I just read you the recipe. It seems like I had it mixed up and in the oven before I ever thought about putting it on. Let me get you up here just a little bit. Well, I'm going to hardly stand up there. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I make my meatloaf. But I also, the meatloaf that I do, you can use it as a filler for cabbage rolls also. So I've got some cabbage leaves out here. And I just cleaned the cabbage head off and got the leaves. Some people put the whole cabbage head down in water, but I'm just going to make a few. So I'm going to drain this again. This is the second bag. And so I'm going to show you how to do a meatloaf, the old-fashioned southern way like my mama did. The only thing different is my mama chopped up fresh onion, and I'm going to use dried onion. I've got a few new followers. I want to say hi, give you a shout out. I really do appreciate it. I really do. If you all enjoy watching my videos, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're from. And so anyway, I've got my green beans in here, and I'm going to fill it up with water. And that kettle is really full, but they will shrink down some, okay? So if you've got somebody that's give you a bag of green beans out of the freezer, you wash them good, and then you fill them up with water. You want to put quite a bit of water, because I'm going to cook these all day. Well, not all day. You know what I mean. They're going to cook slow, and so it'll probably be a couple hours that they cook, but they're cooking slow. So I've got it full of water, and I'm going to put my salt and pepper. Excuse me on that. I've got some drainage. I've had some drainage for a couple of days. Well, it seems like a couple of weeks. I just can't get, I don't know if it's the, I think it's just allergies. So I've got my mama's big spoon here, and this is what she always measured her salt with. So that's what I'm measuring my salt with if it's a big old kettle. This is probably around 2 tablespoons. Alright, so we got the salt in there, and this is just regular salt. It's iodine salt. I always put a little black pepper. That's your choice whether you want to or not, but I like a little bit of seasoning in my green beans. And you can use olive oil. A lot of times I use olive oil, but today I've decided I'm going to use some butter Crisco because I want these to have a good flavor. And like I said, this is about 2 tablespoons, and so I'm getting a good heaping round of that. So now what I'm going to do is put my green beans on to cook. I'm going to turn you around here to my stove. I'm going to put them on this right here till I get them to cooking good. And then what I will do, let me see if I can find a lid. I think I had a lid for them right here. And always make sure your lid's clean. You never know when you're in your cabinet what could be flying around in there. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do until they start boiling good. And then when they start boiling good, got my lid on there, got my shortening in there, I've got my salt and my black pepper, and that's all you do. And then you just let them cook slow all day. Alright, so, and they'll be delicious, you all. I'm telling you, with a piece of cornbread and a little bite of slaw, and then of course I said I'm going to make some meatloaf and a few cabbage rolls just to show you how. Another thing I want to do is I'm trying to find stuff that's not really fattening, but I love to enjoy that'll kill the sweet tooth that I have, and I have discovered how to make grape salad. So when I was at Sam's, we found some cotton candy grapes. So I'm going to use those to make some grape salad, and I believe you all will really enjoy that recipe because it will keep for at least 6 or 7 days or more in your refrigerator in a container with a lid on it. These will keep over a week if you keep them in a container with a lid on them in the refrigerator. So I'm going to get off here, and then we'll be right back, okay? Alright, on this cabbage roll, let me see if you're on. Yeah, I've just got them in a bowl, and I'm going to put some water in here. And I'm going to start out with just some hot water just to go ahead. All I want these to do, these cabbage leaves, I pulled these off of a head of cabbage and make sure they're good leaves. And I'm going to put them in some water on the stove, and I'm just going to let them sit there and simmer and wilt. All I want them to do is to be soft, where I can roll some ground beef, the mixture that I use for my cabbage rolls, so that I'm going to put a little bit of salt in that, and I'm going to put a little bit more water. I just want them to sit there and simmer so that the cabbage leaves will wilt, because you can't use it if it's not soft. You can't roll your meat fixtures up in them if they're not soft. So we'll put that right there, and we're going to put that on a medium heat, and then as it's got it back here on a medium heat, as it starts to wilt down, I'll cut it down on simmer. Alright, so I'll be right back in a few, guys. Okay guys, I'm back, and I'm going to go ahead and put this meatloaf together. I may have to put some aside of the meat mixture in a different bowl until my cabbage leaves get wilted. I'm just going to let them simmer. I'm not going to try to rush them. I'm just going to turn them and let them get warm and wilted. And I'll show them to you here in just a little while. I just got me a wooden spoon up on top of them. Got my green beans to cooking. Alright, and so what I've started out with, to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever used one of these. I've always just put them in a like a loaf pan or a cake pan or whatever. And I do have a glove here that I'm going to use. Trying to just do the best I can with what I got. So this is my version. I'm going to go ahead and put this glove on. This will be the hand that I'll be using. And like another lady on there, these things I run out of them. So when you're cooking for your family, I don't have any cuts or anything on my hands. My hands bruise easy, and they got some scars, but there's no cuts on them. So anyway, I rinsed that out too because I don't like that latex powder stuff on them. So I've got a big thing of ground beef, and it's 88. I'm going to save that. It's 88. It's 88 12. 12 meaning the fat content. My grandson is also back on the diet wagon, so with him, he's got to know the carbs, the protein, the calories, and everything. And what I'll do is just wash this off good and make sure there's no contamination of that ground beef on here. I'll lay that right there. Anyway, we're going to start out, and this is a huge pack. This is a it says it is 4.75 pounds, so that's almost 5 pounds. It's 4 3/4 pounds of ground beef, 88 12. I'm going to turn you back around there so you can see what I'm putting in it. Just wanted to show you this pan. So I'm going to start out with, and I guess y'all want me to measure. Sometimes when I'm here by myself and I'm doing things, I don't measure. Another thing that I found in my pantry is some hominy. Have y'all ever had hominy? It's just swelled up corn, and it's a lot less calories than regular just yellow corn out of a can. I'm going to heat that up really good and let the juice boil out of that. Put me some 35 calorie butter in that, and I'm going to have some of that too, but I'm going to boil some carrots and have a little bit of slaw, and you know I've got to have a little tiny bit of cornbread for my meatloaf and my green beans, you know that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with some, this is 1 minute quick oats. This is a great value. This is all they had up there, so that's what I got. I'm going to start out with 1 heaping cup of the 1 minute quick oats. I'm going to do almost a whole sleeve of saltine crackers, and these are Craven crackers, by the way. You can use whatever brand you want to. So that's 1 whole sleeve. And I'm just going to crush them up with my hand. And then as you're mixing the meat, you know, you can always, let's scoot you back over here just a little bit. You can always, if you find a piece of cracker in there, you can always crush it up. And like I said, I'm not going to slice fresh onion. I could, it's just that I didn't today. And so, and then I'm going to use minced onions, and you can buy these at Food City or Walmart. These are just minced dried onions, and I like onions, so we're going to probably do a good, that's a half a cup. We'll just do a whole cup to that line right there. Alright, that's a whole cup of dried minced onions. Now if you want to do a raw onion, a fresh onion, you can. I would put a whole onion in it. Also, I've got crackers, I've got ground beef, I've got oatmeal, 1 cup of oatmeal, 1 sleeve of crackers, 4.75 pounds of ground beef, and I'm going to put some egg beaters. You know how I am with my egg beaters. And I'm going to say probably, this is just, all this is to hold it together, to bind it together. Sometimes I put it in it and sometimes I don't. So that was a half a cup of egg beaters. Move this out of the way. I do have some dried peppers that we dehydrated, and I'm just going to put a good handful, about half a handful, put a little more, of dried peppers. These are green bell peppers. They've been dehydrated, they've been chopped and then dehydrated. So let's go back over that again. That's 4.75 pounds of 88.12 ground beef. It's got 1 cup of oatmeal, the quick oats, the 1 minute oats. It has 1 sleeve of saltine crackers. It has 1 cup of dried minced onions, and it's about a half a cup of, maybe, I don't even say it's a half a cup, 1/4 of a cup of dried onions. Now, one of my secrets is I put Spanish rice and my stuffed peppers and my meatloaf and my cabbage rolls. You can almost use this for just about anything you want. And if you'll notice, my can opener is about half. Also, you can, let me show you that can of Spanish rice. This, I can get this at Food City. They have it on the shelf next to the Mexican food. And I love this stuff. I've used it for years, but it's hard to find, so I try to buy 2 or 3 cans when I buy it. So anyway, and it has bell peppers and onions in it. And then if you have to order this off of Walmart, do it, because it really is worth the wait to put in your meatloaf. This is called Hunt's Seasoned Tomato Sauce for Meatloaf. Okay? So I usually put 1 whole can of that in there. And I usually put a packet of dry meatloaf seasoning. Okay. Let me just hold on just a second. Let me see if I can find my dry meatloaf. Okay, I'm back. And this is the McCormick meatloaf seasoning. And I usually don't put a lot of salt. I don't usually put salt because this has got salt in it. I may put just a little tiny bit of salt. I don't want too much salt. So I usually put it, let's go back over. We've got almost 5 pounds. It's 4.7 pounds ground beef, 88.12. We have 1 sleeve of crackers, 1 cup of quick minute oats. We have 1 cup of dried minced onions, or 1 whole onion, or 1.5 fresh onions. I have 1 can of Spanish rice and 1 can of Hunt's tomato sauce for meatloaf. 1 package. I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer. This is the old-fashioned way that my mom and all of them made meatloaf. This has got a lot of seasonings in it right here. Now, I don't think they had, maybe they didn't have this back then, but they substituted, they put all kinds of seasonings in it. All right. So now, I'm going to rinse this glove off. And I'm going to put just a little bit. Oh, we got a little bit. We got a half a cup of egg beaters too. Or you can put one egg. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of Worcestershire. Probably 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 around. All right. So I think we're just about ready to go ahead. And I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of salt. And then I'm going to put some black pepper. That's a lot of meat. Alright, I think I've got everything. So we're going to go ahead and start mixing this up. And I'm looking over to see if my cabbage leaves is wilted, and they've not. They're still sitting back there doing their thing. I know I put one on there that had a meatloaf already done. I already had it in the oven, and I forgot to show you how I put it together. So now once this meatloaf is done, and then my cabbage rolls too. I've got a jar of ragu spaghetti sauce with me, or you can use marinara. You can use your favorite tomato sauce. But you want, once they're done, you want to put that over top of them. A lot of people just put ketchup. You can do that. I would water it down just a little bit to make it thin where to soak through it. And then, let me get this off of here. Okay, can't get that off of there. So anyway, I'm trying to see if you're still there, guys. Yeah. Yeah, you're still there. So that was my water reminder. Anyway, you just mash all this up. Now my mama used to put light bread in it too. If she didn't have enough crackers or if she didn't have oatmeal. But anyway, you can do whatever. This is just my version. But once I get this done, I will take it, pull it out of the oven. And I don't pull it all the way out. I just leave it out on the rack. Got my oven preheating to 350. I will take this and pull it out once it's done. And then I will pour some of the spaghetti sauce or the marinara sauce or the ketchup, whatever you prefer, over top of that. And that will be their topping for our meatloaf. And it really makes a difference in it too, honey. I'm telling you, it makes a big, big difference. Now, if you see that your meatloaf is too dry, you can add ketchup, and I've got some ketchup here, and I may just add some because this is a little dry. Okay. And you can use whatever kind of ketchup you want to use. Green beans is boiling over. So let me get a hold of them boogers. All right. So. And that looks like maybe close to a cup of ketchup. And that's beginning to look a little bit better. My mom used to take a cake pan, and she would make two big old domes, you know, round domes of meatloaf. And that's how they did it when she was a young lady learning how to cook, you know. So things have progressed a little bit, and we got this Spanish rice, and we've got the tomato sauce for meatloaf. Now I'm saying you can't hardly find that Hunt's tomato sauce made for, you can find it for the chili, but you can't find it for the meatloaf. So the only way I know you can get it is to order it online. And I think that's what I done, was I ordered some online from Walmart. And it'll come to your door. Making sure we've got all these crackers and all these spices and everything mixed up. So I'm going to cut you out because I don't want to make such a long one. And then when I get it all mixed up and get it ready to put on the pan, I'll put you back on, okay? I think I've got it ready to mix up. I did take some out to put in my cabbage rolls. So I've got this mixed up pretty good. It's almost like kneading bread. You got to get it all mixed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out here. I did spray my pan. I sprayed my pan with Baker's Joy. And what you want to do is try to make a loaf. Trying to fix it to where it won't break apart on top, to where I can cut it in slices. Now you notice the only thing that I put in there bread-wise was a sleeve of crackers and a cup of 1 minute oats. So if you're counting calories or you're counting carbs, how's that look, guys? Does that look pretty good? So I'm going to wash my hands and take this glove off. And wash that glove because I'm going to use that to use for my cabbage rolls. And my cabbage leaves are not, they're not wilted yet, so I can't put those on. But I will get those in just a few minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got my oven preheated to 350. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there just as is. There it is. Put it on the bottom rack. Hey, can you see that? Okay, there's my green beans. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to time this for 1 hour and 15 minutes just to start out. So, and then there's my green beans. I'm going to give them a stir. I had to put me a wooden spoon on top of it because it's trying to boil over on me, and we don't want that. Don't them look good, guys? Alright, so we're going to leave that alone. I think what I'm going to do with this cabbage, the water is getting a little bit hot, but it's still not soft enough for me to use to roll up cabbage rolls. So then I'll be right back when that gets ready, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to try to find my, this is how much I've got out for my cabbage rolls. I just want to do about 6 cabbage rolls. And I'm going to try to find my, my grape salad recipe, alright? Got you down here. This thing don't want to stay up, alright? So I'm going to find my grape salad recipe and let you all decide. It's really good, it lasts a long time, and just to take a bite or two of it, and it satisfies your sweet tooth. I've got to try to get back on this. I promise y'all you'd see the weight melt in the first week or so. I lost 5 pounds. I gained 3 of that back just by being careless and baking sweets and eating sweets, and that, you know, I've got to take some control of that. We have to have control over some things, and it's so hard because I love to cook and I love to eat. But there is things I can eat and fill up that I love, that it's not got all that sugar or a whole lot of carbs. I am trying to cut out a lot of bread, but I do have it occasionally. I'll have the low calorie bread or a little bitty piece of cornbread, but it's been very limited to me. So I'm cutting out the pasta and I'm trying to cut out some of the rice, okay? So I'll be back in a few, okay? Alright folks, I'm back and I'm going to try to go ahead. I think I've got my cabbage leaves soft enough to go ahead and roll some of these cabbage rolls up. So you just want to drain them a little bit. I'm going to put this on a paper towel. Let me get you back here where you can see. I'm going to put you down just a little bit where you can see. Okay. You see that cabbage leaf on that paper towel? Okay. So here is my meatloaf mixture. I'm going to take, and I've got a little bitty 8x8 pan with aluminum foil in it, and I'm going to take some of this meatloaf mixture and I'm going to just pat it out, as you can see, and I'm going to try to make it a sort of oblong. And I'm going to take this big end and I'm going to start rolling this, folding this in on the ends. Now you can see why now that you would need that to be soft. And you see that right there? And you put that open end down in your pan. So we'll take another cabbage leaf and we're going to dry that as best we can. I hope I got enough. Okay, so we're going to take another scoopful. And you can put these in the freezer. You can put these in the freezer, just don't put them in aluminum foil. Put them in a container with a lid on it with a paper towel. So again, we're going to start with that stem part. We're going to put that in there and roll it. And as you start to roll, you fold the sides in. Hoping you're seeing this. Fold those sides in and then just continue to fold it in and roll it. And then it's what you have, and you put that side down. Let's see what else I've got here. Got another good size one right here. can always piece these together too. I was hoping to have 6, but I don't believe I will. That's fine too. Because I'm making them a little bit big. But these are something you can make ahead of time. Taking your stem part, starting it with a roll, putting your sides in, continue to roll, keeping your sides in, and then if you don't have, like if there's a little space on the bottom, you can always put a little piece right there. Alright, and then we're going to fold this in. Right here's a nice one. So this is what you're really looking for. I'm going to take a good size amount of this meat. See, this is the meat, this is the stem. We're taking that stem, going over, we're going to take the sides and fold in. Roll it up and make sure you put your open side down. If I've got another good leaf here. This one here is a good leaf. Like I said, sometimes if you've got an open spot on the back, you can piece these together. I might have 2 more. They're not just going to be as big as that first one's was. That don't matter. Like I said, I'm going to piece this one so you can see. We're going to take this and we're going to put this right up underneath that. Okay, so we're taking the stem, we're rolling, we're going to fold these edges in. Now most southern people, women, know how to do this. I just have a lot of friends that are young and they are learning. And we're going to put that with the bottom down. I mean with the open part down. I'm going to have enough to do one more. So these are just, like I said, wilted cabbage leaves. Looking for that stem right there. And let's see. We're going to piece this in together and make it a little bit bigger. Alright. So you can see what I've got here. And I always put when I handle meat, I always put it in a sink in bleach water with dishwashing detergent to kill any contamination. So we got the stem, we're going to start rolling. We're going to roll these sides in. Alright, I'm going to take a little piece of cabbage. You see my husband over there, he's getting coffee. Let's say hello to Pal. I'm going to put this right here so I'll have enough to cover that bottom. So you can piece these together. You just have to have a little bit of patience with it. Alright, so we've got that one. So we did come out with 6. Even though that one is pieced together a little bit. So anyway, this is what they look like. Now the difference in doing your cabbage rolls and doing your meatloaf is you want to put your sauce on your cabbage rolls before they go into the oven. So I have my spaghetti sauce here. And this is some that I've used. So what you want to do, once you get them in here, you go ahead. Now, like I said, you can put these in the freezer and bake them the next day or a week later or a month later. But you want to put them in a container that's not metal and it's not got aluminum foil. You want to put them in a plastic container with a lid. Put you a paper towel in there to absorb any moisture, okay? Then when you take them out, put them in an aluminum foil covered pan, and then you're ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here. Okay. Put a little bit of black pepper. And what I'm going to do with these two, whoop, there come my lid off. Well, that was a dangerous, wasn't it? Put a little bit of black pepper. Those lids don't want to stay too good. Or maybe I just had it off, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of Italian seasoning. Right here. I'm going to take a little bit of Italian seasoning and I'm going to sprinkle over this. I'm going to take the rest of this ketchup and I'm going to put in around the sides and a little bit on top. I'll put a little bit of water in here because you got to have a little bit of water if you're going to cook cabbage rolls. So you can see what I done. I just took that leftover. There's a little bit in that. Because these will cook slow. They'll cook on 352, but you have to, they're just going to cook that meat on the inside of that cabbage. Does that not look good, guys? And also, you got to have some moisture in the bottom of that. Because they'll just be so dry, they just won't be good. Okay, we didn't use all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tent. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold it up, and then I'm going to put this in the oven for probably an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. I'll let you know, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, all right. Hey guys, my meatloaf has been in there for about 30 minutes. I'm going to leave it for about an hour. It likes 43 minutes. I wanted to show you how I pull it out here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my spaghetti sauce on it because I don't want my meatloaf to be dry. And all this gives it some more flavor too. Let's see if I can stir that on there a little bit. Hope y'all can see what I'm doing here. Just dropped a big spatter of that right in the floor. That seals in that moisture too, guys. All right, so I'll see you in a few.